In part one, we diagnosed that the mainboard had gone faulty on this, but we're not convinced that the mainboard's going to fix it. But anyway, let's stick it in, see what happens. Hello. Hopefully most of you got the chance to see part one. If you didn't, go and watch part one, because part one would make a heck of a lot of sense. And actually it was pretty good, part one. That I've got a camera that's wobbling, and I don't just mean the image that's wobbling. Can you see? It's the camera that's wobbling, almost as if we're having a little earthquake. I don't know what could be causing it to wobble. Maybe we're having a little earthquake. Let me just move it. I mean, when they're on a stand, they can get a little bit sensitive, but I'm just surprised that it's wobbling like that. Anyway, so we're back to this 50-inch QLED, of which we just cannot get the picture, and we noticed yesterday it was doing some strange things, so we diagnosed that this was faulty. This is the main board, and it's keeping the backlights at a low level. We're also not getting a picture. So we're kind of thinking something's wrong with this main board. I mean, if I'm being honest, yes, I think the main board is going to make a massive difference. It's going to make a difference. No, it's not, because I can't find it. So here is our replacement. Or rather, there is our replacement. It's very rare for this main board to go. If you haven't seen part one, I recommend you go and see it, but it just stops me going over so much stuff. But this has been to somebody else that plays with televisions first. I can always get a picture back on these. They all suffer from a chip fault. Some people in the comments said it was not a chip, it's a capacitor. It really isn't. We've done so many of these. We know what the fault is. We know how to rectify it, but we just can't do it on this one. And this one is throwing up something really different, which is why we're down to the main board. I'm going to... I don't know how much these would cost on eBay. I would imagine pennies. I would imagine them to be dirt cheap. Because there are so many of these televisions that basically just get trashed. They just get recycled because of the ongoing problem. A lot of people in the comments agreed with me and thought it was a mainboard issue. A lot of people are going to say, why are you taking the cables out? Just swap it with the cables. I want to make sure 100% that it is the main board. If I swapped it with the cables and it came back, there'd be somebody in the comments saying, well, you changed the cables as well and you just don't know. And you'd be absolutely right to say that. Yeah, I would. Anyway, there it is. Ready to swap over. So let's swap it over. Do I think this is going to work? No. I think it'll make a difference. I think it'll bring the backlights to full brightness. And I think it will then give us the usual problem. Why? Why am I being so negative? He's being negative again. He's always negative. Because if by replacing this main board, and for those people that have been watching the channel for quite some time, they'll know I'm not being sarcastic when I say this. But if this actually brings the TV to life just by swapping the main board, that means this could possibly be the only 50-inch Samsung QLED that is still working in the UK. That's how many of these have failed. I've seen more of these over the last 3 years than any other model of TV, which is why I know exactly where to stick the piece of paper when I need to stick the piece of paper. And I always need to stick the piece of paper. This has just made it a little bit interesting because sticking the piece of paper did not make any difference. And somebody else quite correctly pointed out in the comments that we've got no idea what the other chap did to this TV. he could have broken something off the main board, he could have broken something off the screen panel, so we just don't know. Anyway, that is it. So I'm not going to do anything with this. This is still as it should be. So that is as original. So let's see if this gives us an image. I don't think it will. I think it'll give us the full backlights and it'll act as if it's being normal, if that makes sense. Right. Excuse me, Mr. Camera, while I just crush you. Ooh. Are you ready? I'm going to switch it on. Does this mean that we have now got the only working 50-inch QLED from 5 years ago in the UK? I'm exaggerating a bit there, I know. Switching it on. Backlights have come on, but no picture. And it's going to do its recycling. I'll switch all my lights off so we can see. Yeah, there's the backlights coming on and off, on and off, on and off. So now, if I do my paper trick, we'll just have a look at, see if we can see a 2 blink code this time, because we didn't. Oh, I can. We didn't have a 2 blink code yesterday. Just show the backlights coming on full. We never had them that bright yesterday when they tried to come on. We just didn't. And of course the other thing we didn't have is the 2 blink code. So now, if I disconnect this ribbon cable, the backlight should come on and stay on. They should. Hope you can see in the dark. That's just a splash screen, as we know. And the backlight's now staying on and the 2 blink code disappearing. I don't think we get half a pick on these. You'd think I'd know the amount of times I've done it, but I don't think we do. No. But now if I put that piece of paper in there, is that going to solve it? Just in case you're not a regular to the channel, we've done dozens of these sets, so I know exactly where to stick the piece of paper for the clock lines that short out. The only problem is somebody else has been playing with this TV, and if they've shorted or put a piece of paper in where it doesn't belong, it could have caused other problems, and that's possibly what caused the main board to fail in the first place. So we may be on a losing battle here, but you've got to try. Switch some lights off. Switch the TV now on. Oh, well, we got something. I was close. That is weird. I doubt that you saw it because I've got this blooming light in the way, but in a second, the QLED light will come on, and I've now frozen the picture, so you should be able to faintly see, just right next to where the light reflection is, the words QLED, but it's very faint and it is distorted. So I keep adjusting that blocking piece of paper just in case it's a different clock lines that's gone. But after 2 or 3 minutes, this main board does exactly the same. So something has happened to the screen. It's causing a short and it's taking out the main boards, and it's just not repairable. And sadly, there's nothing on this TV either that I can use for spare parts. It's just one of those that just fails and it has to go to the recycling centre. But we gave it a go. We did find out and we correctly diagnosed that it was a main board problem. But nothing we can do with this one. Move on to the next.